This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
And we have Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation joining us here. She sent us her own walk-up song today. And it was a great choice, too, Alyssa. I am a fan of AJ Gray and Mofro. And, of course, they're singing about their home state, Florida, which you know quite well. So this all works well together, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was great. You know, there were some kind of sketchy songs when I just searched Orange in Spotify last week. But I thought that this one kind of set the tone perfectly. Yeah,
there were a couple of them that had to do with Tennessee football. We weren't putting that on. They were not Rocky Top. Those were not going on. No doubt about that. So let's see.
But it was fun. It was a fun search.
It was, and now we'll play that until the end of time, right about this time on Wednesdays. So let's see. We got basketball tonight, women's basketball tomorrow. Soccer's got the NCAA tournament, Sweet 16, Ohio State Friday. Football, Ole Miss on Saturday. So last week was just sort of like a dry run for what you're doing this week, too.
Oh, exactly. And you can't forget about cross-country national championship Saturday morning in Stillwater. So there also might be a volleyball game somewhere in there, too. So a lot going on, and it is just that time of the year.
Yeah. Sounds like an opportunity for Jaden Wilson, who Sam Pittman on the teleconference this morning said slides up to fifth on the depth chart at wide receiver. And it's disappointing to see anybody quit the team, but I think Warren Thompson had been, he'd been a disappointment for most of the time here. And if you're not happy here, go ahead and leave and give somebody else the opportunity. And Jaden Wilson will get that chance.
Yeah, personally, on a Warren Thompson note, I'm sad about him leaving the team. Obviously, he transferred in from my alma mater, following Kendall Briles here from Florida State. And I had some high hopes for him as I've watched him play, obviously at two different schools now. So just really disappointed and sad to see him go. But again, opens up that door for Jaden Wilson. And I don't know how many people remember this or knew this, period. But this was a kid who came in as a freshman, was committed when Coach Stepp was still the wide receiver coach, and then Kenny Guyton took over. And I did an interview with him when he was still a commit, and he was telling me that him and his brother and Kenny Guyton actually went to Ohio State together. So he had known Coach Guyton for a while. So it was really cool to kind of be reconnected with that. So I'm really interested to see now if that relationship and the bond that they have had that predates him at Arkansas has any effect on the way he's going to play on the field. So it'll be pretty cool.
Got Ole Miss on Saturday, a team that runs the ball more than the Razorbacks do. And they've got the same sort of – it's interesting. You got with Arkansas, you got – couple of three running backs in that backfield that you feel really good about, and of course a running quarterback. And Ole Miss has two running backs that they feel really good about, although I wonder if Zach Evans is available because of a concussion that he suffered last week. So they might be down one of their top running backs, but that Quint-John Judkins and certainly Jackson Dart can run. But I don't think Ole Miss can throw the ball with quite the same success that Arkansas does, and maybe that can be a difference now that KJ's back. And we heard earlier from Grant this morning, Alyssa, that he saw that KJ threw the ball with zip at practice yesterday. That's a good sign.
Yeah, you love to hear that. And it's funny kind of talking about an Ole Miss team that doesn't throw the ball very well, right? Like that just feels kind of weird. But it's going to be something to where you hope that the passing game is the difference, but truly, Phil, it's the offensive line. Arkansas is just not going to have success offensively if this offensive line doesn't get it together. And it's a little head-scratching when you look at what feels like a complete 180 with this offensive line from the past couple of weeks to truly just wondering what is going on. I know that you didn't have Dalton Wagner, but what's going on with that offensive line that just seems to be off right now? Because they've got to get that run game going, which, of course, then will open up that passing game for KJ. But it truly starts there. And if they're not able to have a run game, they're not going to be able to have a passing game. And you look in the past 2 weeks, Arkansas's running backs have only rushed for under 150 yards, right? This was this was a running game where a couple of weeks ago we saw Rocket go over the 1,000-yard mark. So something's missing there, and you hope that they figured it out this week in practice. Having KJ back helps. But Sam even said in his press conference after LSU, it doesn't matter who's in the pocket. If we're not blocking anybody, no one's going to be successful. So I really feel like it hinges there and what this offensive line is going to be able to do and how they perform on Saturday.
Alyssa, the defense played really good against LSU in those last two quarters against Liberty, getting the shutout. I'd have said we'd won both those games if we'd have held LSU to 13 points. What's been the biggest turnaround there for that defense and how they were able to get a couple turnovers, but what has been their biggest turnaround?
You know, Bumper Poole was asked that yesterday, and I kind of just have to go with what he said. I feel like there's just a newfound confidence. They were able, I think Quincy McAdoo, and it's crazy to just say he was the difference, but having him over there and playing corner has really helped Hudson Clark move over into a much more comfortable position. The linebackers are able to play with a little bit more confidence and a little bit more sustainability because they've been switching Chris Paul with Bumper Poole a little bit more. And I feel like they've finally just been able to click to where they're just playing football again and not trying to overthink things. And it's crazy to think that adding Quincy McAdoo, that shuffled some things around, has that much impact. But maybe it just came back down to they've had an impact on one player taking so much pressure off the rest of the defense that those guys are now able to play a little bit more freely.
Basketball tonight, basketball tomorrow. I want to ask you about something with the women's team. Sasha Goforth has been on the bench, not in uniform, but she's been sitting there and has been, there for the warm-ups. And she's still on the roster, on the website. She's not playing for them. She's not practicing with them. The stomach condition, gastroparesis, if I remember it correctly, is the reason that Sasha, and remember she said, stepped away from basketball. She never said she was quitting. She hasn't quit.
Right.
And they're saving a space for her, Alyssa. And I don't know if it'll be this year. Maybe it will be. If an injury, occurs, they may need somebody because, they're already short one player. But I just found it interesting that Sasha has been around. And I imagine we'll see her there tomorrow night and probably every home game.
I think it's a pleasant surprise for sure because it felt like when she stepped away from the game, she stepped away from the team and needed her own time, and maybe she did. But yeah, I noticed her name on the roster, and I've noticed some stuff, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And I've talked to some people who cover the women's basketball team closely as well, and it's really just dependent on how she feels and how she comes along and if she's ready to ever get back out there. But I really think that it speaks a lot to Coach Neighbors and this staff who have said, we'll kind of save a spot for you at the table if you want it back, and not just saying, okay, well, you want to walk away. Well, we'll walk away too. She's so talented and she's from Fayetteville. I think the program means so much to her for her to come back to it after going all the way to Oregon State as a freshman, that, there's a spot for her at the table if she ever wants it back. And hopefully we do get to see her play in a Razorback uniform one more time at least, because she is a special talent, and it'd be cool to see her back out there.
They already look like a good defensive team. You put Sasha back on that team. It's like, wow. Yeah. It would be kind of crazy with their ability to defend everywhere, not just the perimeter, but also down low. That would be really something else. 500th game at Bud Walton Arena tonight. Weird. I mean, and I'm not here to spread the rumors, but, Grant said something about Mike Irwin told him there's, maybe some rumors of trying to build a new arena, which to me, I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it because
I don't know. Mike Irwin and those rumors, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't necessarily, from what I've heard, and again, I haven't spoken to anyone in a while, but about it specifically, but it was more about where renovations to Bud Walton go from here. I don't think you build yourself a brand new arena. I just think you look at what you have already and you try to improve it or change it. I know obviously there's been discussion about load boxes getting added and taking out some of the seats, and people go back and forth on whether or not you need to do that because we've seen when Arkansas is playing the way they're playing, right, you can sell out Bud Walton Arena no problem. But I don't know about a new arena. I might have to talk to Mikey about that one.
Yeah, I wonder about it. I love this place. I love the place. You
Yeah.
don't need to build a new arena. I think
if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
that's exactly the way that I view it. What do you think on Arkansas? I was about to call them San Diego State. What do you got on Arkansas and the jackalopes? The jackrabbits, not the
Jack-o'-lanterns?
Yeah, I've forgotten. There's too many jacks.
Jackrabbits. Yeah, it should be a fun one. I don't see Arkansas having any problems tonight and taking care of business before they head out to Maui. But it's really about what they continue to do. Nick Smith Jr. is not going to play. Where's the health of everybody else? Getting some more guys some reps before they head to Maui. But, I just get, and I was really excited to see Trevin Brazil at the beginning of the season. Like, he was the guy that I really wanted to see play. No offense to all the very talented freshmen they have. But I tell you what, man, I'm coming to this game seeing what Ricky Council's got up his sleeve again. I mean, he has been stellar. So I see him having another huge game, and I'm just excited to see what he continues to do, because I feel like he's a guy, and even Mustad, we didn't expect this because he didn't show it overseas. He didn't show it in the exhibition game against Texas. But he is fun to watch when he is on.
I'm an Anthony Black fan, that's for sure. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah. Oh, he's fun too. I mean, the passes he makes sometimes, you're like, holy cow, how are you a freshman?
He's so smooth, he's only going to get better.
Yes, and he just has such great court awareness. He's one of those kids that has eyes in the back of his head, and he probably, of the freshmen that have come in, have just really impressed me the most, and mainly because we haven't seen Nick Smith Jr. much. With just his court awareness and how he's able to really orchestrate the offense and play defense and make it on both sides of the court. It's fun to watch, and, man, he's going to be really talented.
And Musk signed another, and it's not a sign. I know they signed Blocker the other day, but now Bay Fall last night announced he's coming to Arkansas. Another 5-star. And, I mean, there's a lot of folks out there that right now are saying that Arkansas is the hottest brand in college basketball as far as recruiting is concerned. Kentucky's still signing a lot of great players, but, I mean, the 5-star, I don't think any coach has had this many 5-stars at Arkansas, and it's been a short time.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch, and it's really a testament to just what this program has built and the brand that Eric Musselman has, just as a coach, but also the association to the Razorbacks. And it goes back to, it might not seem like much, but all of the social media pushes and everything that he does, it might come across as silly or overboard for some people, and it can be at times. But recruits love it, and recruits see it, and they see how it's edgy. It's new wave. It's what the kids are loving these days, right? And you want to go play for a guy like that. You want to be in an environment where it's like, oh, okay, I'll have Duke Deuce at a party at Bud Walton Arena. That sounds like a lot of fun. I want to go there. Stuff like that is eye-catching to these recruits, and they see how much fun people are having, and you want to be a part of it. You want to be invited to the party.
Is he the first coach to really use social media at the University of Arkansas that way?
I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think he pretty much has control of his social media account too. Social media kind of almost seemed like a little bit of an afterthought. Like, you had to be on it for a while, but you didn't have to control your own page. And some coaches might have other people run their pages. I don't know. But you have seen that Musk has really taken it. And I say, that's funny that I said Musk, because the whole Elon Musk and their Twitter account, that's a whole nother story. But Musk has embraced it and loved it. And it's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, Elon's pretty close to maybe ruining the thing, but that's a whole other story.
That thing is wild.
Yeah, guy knows what he's doing with electric cars and things like that. But I think as far as the social media is concerned, I think he stepped in a little bit over his head, and we'll find that out himself. But
is Grimes still his wife? Are they still a thing? Didn't they have a child together
I think
or something?
so, yeah.
Grimes is in her own right. She's a strange bird as well, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Most of these
I like some of her music, though. Grimes
are eccentric, you know. So
we'll get a Grimes. We'll get Matty T. Maybe he'll play a Grimes song before the day's over.
Speaking of music, Alyssa, did you get Taylor Swift tickets?
I did not. You know, I love Taylor, but I was not going to be a part of the madness and stuff that was the other day. I enjoyed my day where I didn't have to stand in front of a computer for 5 hours. And the one show that I would have gone to in Kansas City is the same day that I leave for vacation for Maine. So it's fine. I've seen her in concert twice. I'm good.
Lucky you, because I saw a lot of upset people that said they were waiting in line for like 5 hours yesterday, the digital line. I'd be like,
I know, and my thoughts and prayers to those people.
Exactly. Yeah, we can give them the T's and the P's, and the T and the S, and Taylor Swift. We'll leave it there, Alyssa. Appreciate you. Thanks for your time.
Guys,
see you later on.
Always fun. See you next week.
Football is back, and BetOnline remains your number one source for all your football betting needs this season. You'll find the latest odds, matchup info, player news, and game trends. And as your continued source for all sports wagering info, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, live scores, and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports and events like MLB, MMA, tennis, boxing, and even golf. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 100% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. Bet online, where the game starts.